Okay, I think I'm live now, so let's see. Hoping I am. Should be. Okay, can anybody hear and see me? Let me know in the chat. All right. Okay. Let's see. Hey, there we go. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing? Thank you for joining the chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. All right. And we'll get it all started here. Hey, how's it going? All right. So y'all can hear me fine, I assume, right? Oh, fix this up a little bit here. There we go. All right, awesome. It's good. Awesome. All right, so chat's looking good. All right, well let's get everything underway here and get right into it. So wow, I mean, big news coming today. Well, I like Kamen Rider a whole lot, but yeah, had some big news come out today. Just so you guys know, super chat questions will get priority, not exclusivity, but they will get priority. And thank you all for tuning into the stream. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to come hang out tonight and talk a bit of tokusatsu on top of some other things. So yeah, let's try to keep the chat civil. Let's try to keep let's try to use a little bit less colorful language for the time being, if we can try. As far as I know, what's going on with Bandai America, at least in regards to, hold on, let me get this a little bit closer to me here. At least as far as I know, regarding them making the Power Rangers toys, at least globally, on the global market. So my assumption would be that covers, United States, UK, some other European countries. Bandai will no longer be producing the toys for those markets. They still, however, will be making toys for Japan, for Super Sentai. Somebody on the video that I put out a little bit earlier had mentioned that supposedly Hasbro is taking over the license. I don't know if that's true or not. I myself have not read or seen anything to confirm that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Hasbro has a lot to gain from getting that license. So, well, the Legacy Ranger series, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I know that obviously, at least for, on through for this year and maybe some of early next year, maybe first quarter of next year, there could still be some legacy stuff. I really don't know at this time. There's no specifics as to what all is going to be affected. If it's just going to be like just the run-of-the-mill action figures that they're having over on the toy shelves, the 5-inch figures, or if it's going to affect all of them. I mean, I would assume, considering they got the license to make all toys, I mean, it would affect everything, but maybe it's specific. So, I mean, until we hear more, I really don't know. Let's see. As far as what's going to be the adaptation for Power Rangers, no word on that yet either. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they skipped one of the shows. I hope not. I mean, that would kind of suck if they did. It would be good to for them to just, at least from this point forward, to continue to do them in order. All right, so Baka Fred says Q Ranger is confirmed. Okay, well, that's good. I hope they definitely keep that one up. I mean, a lot of people like that series, so I think that they should, if if that is confirmed. The Neo Saban, Is that the name of the channel, Neil Saban? Because I don't think I'm not sure if that's an official channel, Baka. I mean, it could be, but I'm not sure that it is. Galaxy, as far as the next Henshin time, it's hard to say. I mean, it's what I can say about the next part of Henshin time is that it has already been shot. Now it's just, in the editing process, but it takes a lot of time to get the video together, with the editing, doing all the stuff in post, getting the rough cut together, then doing all the post production stuff, because I don't do all the all the stuff in the background that you see in the videos. I don't do all that. That's actually, I pass it off to James Griffiths, who finishes that up, who adds, he does the final cut of everything. So I have to kind of wait on his schedule, because he does it when he can on the side. So I'm not blaming him. So don't get that wrong. I'm not saying anything, it takes long because of him. It's a long process regardless. So, but it definitely, obviously that adds a little bit to it. So I think Agito is behind. It's funny. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, Q Ranger has not been confirmed. Okay, all right. Well, good to know. Good to know. Did I hear about Marco Satsu? Marco Satsu. I know who Marco Satsu is. I've seen his videos. I'm subscribed to his channel. We follow each other on Twitter. I don't know him personally. He seems like a really nice guy. I'm not sure that we've ever crossed paths before, at least not to my memory. I don't think we've ever met personally. I mean, unless we might have crossed paths and maybe didn't know it, because I know he's been to Power Morphicon, and the last time I went there was last time I went to Power Morphicon was in 2014. So maybe we might have crossed paths, but we didn't know each other then. I mean, we don't technically know each other now. I mean, I know of him and he knows of me, but we don't know each other personally. So, I mean, we've seen each other's videos. That's about as far as that goes. But he seems like a nice guy. Wouldn't mind getting to know him personally. And who knows, maybe we could collab on something in the future if he'd be down. So, do I like X8? I have not seen X8 yet, so I don't know, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard a lot of. I've probably heard the most amount of positivity behind X8 of a Kamen Rider series since Gaim. I mean, a lot of people have praised. They've praised X8 a lot, so that's the most praise I've heard for a Kamen Rider series since Gaim. So I definitely want to check it out, even though I'm not too thrilled about the look. Aesthetically, to me it's not too pleasing to the eye, but hey, I mean, if it's a good enough series, I'll definitely give it a shot. He was at Japan World Heroes as well. So I guess if anything, Marco lives over there, lives on the west side, or at least closer to the west side, because I know he's also been a Power Morphicon, because I saw a Power Morphicon video from Squall Charleston that he was in. Marco Satsu's channel was taken down? Oh my goodness. I did not know that. That is news to me. Wow. That's crazy. That is unfortunate. That really, man. That really sucks to hear. That's crazy. I had no idea his channel was taken down. I was wondering, I hadn't seen anything new in my feed from him, so I guess that makes sense. All right. Wow. Oh, so his account looks like it might be suspended, is what you're saying. So it sounds like his account might be temporarily suspended. I mean, that still sucks either way, but yeah, I hadn't heard that. That's unfortunate. I hope to see him back soon. Huh? That's weird. I follow him on Twitter. I didn't see anything. I didn't see him tweet anything. Maybe I just missed it. It's wild. I hope to see him back soon then. But yeah, going back onto the whole Bandai deal. I mean, that's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see who decides to go ahead and pick up the slack, because obviously, you got Hasbro out there, you got Mattel out there, you got, to a lesser degree, you got companies like Jack Pacific. I mean, it's whoever ends up getting the Power Rangers license, it's going to help them tremendously. I mean, it's still a big enough franchise that it'll definitely help whoever they go to next. I mean, Hasbro, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, they're pretty much on top of the world. So them getting it would not be surprising. If Mattel got it, that would definitely help them in terms of, because I would say that if Hasbro's number one, Mattel's, they're definitely, I would view them as a very competitive, pretty competitive number two. So, hey, but who knows? I mean, if Jax is the right bidder, they might be able to pick it up. I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it. But then again, hey, look, Jax Pacific, they have the license to produce the Nintendo figures, the World of Nintendo figures. That's all Jax Pacific, man. So I mean, they obviously they got some money behind them too. So you never know. And I mean, the World of Nintendo figures, they're not anything too stellar to write home about, but they're all right. Thoughts on how the anime commentary channels have grown so much and have survived on YouTube. Yet Toku YouTubers end up losing steam like Marco are taken out. Well, the thing is, what it is, I think the thing with anime channels and why they don't, why they're not affected as harshly is because a lot of the companies that have the licenses for anime, and this is probably going to be surprising to a lot of people, a lot of the companies that actually have licenses to a lot of these animes, they are actually okay. They're a little bit more lenient about people reviewing them. They're even more lenient about people publicly showing them. Like I'll give you an example. Like if you were to take a movie and do a public showing of it, you would have to get express written consent from the company that owns the rights to it in order to do a public viewing of it. Otherwise, you can be like if you got a film reel of, let's say, I'll just off the top of my head, a Men in Black movie, you got a film reel and you wanted to rent out a theater to show it, you would have to let the company know that you're doing that. You'd have to get permission from it. They may or may not want they may or may not want a compensation for that. Just depends. It's basically case per case. But in the case of anime, a lot of the companies, like I'll give you the example of Bandai, of all companies, Bandai Entertainment, when they were in the process of licensing and distributing, or when they were licensing out, when they had licensed certain animes, they were okay with anime conventions doing viewings of their anime shows without having to get express written consent or anything like that, even though they were being shown in a public venue for pretty much, that you had to pay to get into, which you had to pay to get into the convention. They allowed it. They were okay with it because the way they were figuring is like, hey, this is free advertising for us. So a lot of these companies probably view YouTube the same way. It's just like, well, you know what, that's advertising for us. So we're not going to go hard on them because they're reviewing something of ours and it ultimately gives us exposure, and it's free advertising for us, for people to come and check out the animes that we have licensed. So I think that's part of the reason why. With live action, it's a little bit trickier. With live action, I don't know why they just companies like Toei and Saban Brands, I mean, they don't play that. They want to cut. They want their hand in the pie. So let's see. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the questions here. Let's see. Do you think Disney might take back Power Rangers after 2021? Hard to say. I mean, they could definitely offer Saban Brands a spot, on what is it called, Disney XD. Maybe they could come to terms and work something out with them and have it be on there. I mean, it'd probably be a lot more viable now than it was before. I mean, at this point, I would say, Disney probably has to acknowledge that Power Rangers has rooted itself in the American mainstream and pop culture, so it's not going anywhere. I mean, unless it's massively mishandled. Because even though Power Rangers is staying on Nickelodeon, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's the end of Power Rangers. It just, just certain things have to change with it, I think, in order to get it back to a point of where it'll be like really great again. So all right, so let me see. Well, I mean, okay, see, I think Power Rangers should get PR figures and Hulu or Netflix to get Power Rangers show. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people are clamoring for Power Rangers to be on a live streaming service. It definitely helped breathe new life into Power Rangers once it was put on Netflix. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't think so. They could. I mean, I don't think Saban Brands is going to let go of Power Rangers anytime soon. At least, it's such a big cash cow for them still. And Saban does know how to handle it relatively well still. So I don't think he's not gonna let go of it anytime soon. I mean, not unless the only way I could see Saban Brands selling off Power Rangers, I mean, is if they get if he gets an offer he can't refuse. So that I agree with you, bootleg hentai. I mean, cable is dying. I mean, with the advent of streaming services, I mean, it's it, there's not really much left in the way of cable. I mean, that's why cable's gotten significantly cheaper. But it's it's not a viable format. It's not a sustainable format for the future. I don't think either. I think eventually, I mean, cable is going to go completely away at some point in time. I mean, I don't think we're there just yet, because you still got people that are old school that they prefer just to sit in front of the TV and flip the channels. So Lucasfilm should do Power Rangers. Maybe they will. You should get JDF on your live feed. Yeah, good luck with that, right? Do I have a Twitch channel? Yes, I do, Galaxy Atlas. And as a matter of fact, I have been streaming on Twitch. It's the same name, Toy Bounty Hunters. If you guys want to follow me on there, I'm actually going to be streaming some, probably streaming some Stardew Valley tomorrow, or maybe some other game. I haven't decided yet. But I do stream on Twitch occasionally. So if you guys gave me a follow on there, I'd appreciate it and try to tune into some of the live streams I do there. Dino Charge was commonly watched on Netflix by kids. Yeah, Sentai Writer, Ultra Tunes. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it on a streaming service like Netflix. I think, eventually there's going to come a time where that's all there's going to be is streaming services. So it's, all these shows are probably going to move to that online format at some point. I mean, the only thing that I see being a sustainable model is really the free networks that people get on TV. That's it. They added a new clarification to the press release. By all means, what is it? Kamen Rider Den-O? You think they will make it? Oh, if Hasbro picks it up, no, I think. I mean, well, the Hasbro deal. If Hasbro picks it up, I mean, that'd be separate from the television deals. So, I mean, if they got a deal with Nickelodeon until 2021, they're going to stay with Nickelodeon until 2021. So whoever ends up getting the license after 2019, Power Rangers is still going to be obligatorily airing on Nickelodeon. So they're not really going to have a choice but to, you know, continue airing. I mean, they're going to be contractually obligated to continue airing on Nickelodeon. So if it changes after that, I mean, that all depends on Saban Brands. You will follow Papa. Yeah, he probably could. Ram Jam, you're probably not wrong. I mean, he probably could create his own streaming broadcast service for Power Rangers if he really wanted to, but you know, but then again, if it's just sustained by Power Rangers by itself, I mean, I'm not sure how viable that would be for him. You know, so you know, I have not seen the Godzilla anime on Netflix yet, but it's definitely on my watch list. I want to see it, and I will probably end up doing a video about it. I'll probably do like a kind of a small, you know, little quick review after I'm done watching it, just to see. It's my buddy Fat Elf King there in the chat. You guys be sure to check out his Twitch channel. It's hilarious. If you guys get a chance. He is my brother from another mother. Be sure to check out his Twitch if you guys get the chance. Nothing funnier than seeing a guy with elf ears and a crown playing video games. What do I think about a Jetman movie in the States? A Jetman movie would be amazing. I'm not sure if they would be able to do it right, but who knows? Okay, so all right, Markel Dude just put something interesting here in the chat. Clarification states that Saban is ending the Master Toy license, so that means Bandai will continue, but you may get Hasbro Power Rangers. So the Master Toy license then would be probably just again, anything that goes back to the global license. So anything that has the Power Rangers logo on it that is released by Bandai, that has the Power Rangers logo, not the Super Sentai logo, because that is separate. Anything with that on it, that's what's changing. All right. All right, Dimension Theater, you're asking me, are you going to check the Power Rangers Shattered Grid comic? I have not seen it yet. I've heard things about it. I haven't actually been following any of the comics, so I'm not sure if that's something. Is that a story arc or is that a whole new comic that's coming out? Are we allowed to curse? Are you allowed to curse on my Twitch? Look, I guess so. I mean, I'd prefer to try to keep it. I'm not against anybody's free speech. I mean, you could express yourself however you want. I would just say, because of the fact that we do get kids inside the chat sometimes and things like that, to try to be a little bit, you know, try to watch the language a little bit if you can, you know, just in consideration to other people. But you know, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really try to censor people, but I would ask that people would try to be a little bit conscientious of that. This is a family program. Okay, let's see here. What is the best Sentai season and best Ranger season in your opinion? Well, I've answered this before. Actually, I actually answered this on the last live stream, but I don't mind repeating it. If I had to pick, at least as far as I've seen regarding Super Sentai, for me, of the ones I've seen, the best season of Super Sentai to me personally is Jetman. As far as Power Rangers go, that one's a little bit tougher. But if I had to pick, like really, it would probably have to be Power Rangers in space for me personally. Although I would say, dang, you know what? I mean, at least, I mean, best season. All right, actually, best season in terms of what I think was best written and all that, I would have to say RPM. But my personal favorite in terms of best writing and just overall liking the season, probably In Space. Oh yeah, Saban has plenty of other shows besides Power Rangers. Saban has had licenses to other shows for years. So I mean, starting way before Power Rangers, Saban had already jumped into the anime market. I mean, for any of you that grew up, you know, late 80s, early 90s, you probably remember shows like Samurai Pizza Cats and things like that. That was a Saban Entertainment licensed show. So the end of Super. I mean, I would assume that, you know, after the Nickelodeon deal is done, the super seasons only go away if it's, I would think, if it's not on Nickelodeon. But then again, you never know. Maybe that could be something that Saban themselves they adapt into their process. They could end up deciding to try to take that onto other networks that they go to. So hard to say. Let's see. Shattered Grid is an event. Okay, it's an event within the comics. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could try to find the time to check it out. But I don't know anything at all about it. Like I said, I know that there was a big buzz about it though. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the one where Lord, what is it, Dracon or whatever? Okay, yeah, I did hear a little bit about that. Okay. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that he narrated, the JDF narrated the trailer for it. I mean, which makes sense. I mean, since, you know, Lord Dracon is basically a, you know, evil Tommy from another dimension or something. Okay, let's see. Oh, Airlim, what's going on? How you doing, buddy? For those of you that don't know who Airlim is, you guys should check out his channel too. Here on YouTube, he does some pretty good Power Ranger commentary videos. So if you guys don't know about him, check him out and subscribe to his channel. You know, he covers some other TV shows too, but he does some good Power Ranger commentary videos and tokusatsu related videos as well. Nobody loves Power Rangers more than you. I don't know. Know about that. I mean, we got some lovers in here. Have I watched Angry Video Game Nerds vids, including his PR vids? I have seen his Power Rangers videos, and I have seen Angry Video Game Nerds videos. I did. I definitely, in the early days of YouTube, I remember when he was just starting out. So yeah, I've seen a lot of his videos. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, I like the information in a lot of his videos. I don't really care for the whole shtick. I mean, the shtick got pretty old to me very early on. Because I mean, there's only so many times you could hear buffalo diarrhea, whatever, before it's just, you know, before you're sick of it. I mean, but his information is good though. I appreciate the research and information he puts into his videos for sure. And just to follow up to that, you know, me making videos was not really, a lot of people were inspired by him to make videos. I was not. I mean, making videos is something I had always wanted to do from way before YouTube even existed. But, you know, I know a lot of people, he's the inspiration for a lot of people. And I think that's good. That's good as long as it's positive. So, But for me, I mean, I was inspired way before that to make videos of a different nature. But I would credit him though as definitely a trendsetter and kind of paving the way for a lot of people getting their foot in the door and doing this. On thoughts, this is a good question. Thoughts on how well or poorly Saban adapts visual effects and special effects styles of Super Sentai. I mean, they've gotten better about it. I mean, obviously there was some early, I mean, there was some there was some early special effects that they tried in certain shows. You know, going back as far as Mighty Morphin that didn't look too good. But I mean, they've gotten better about it for sure. I mean, I will say this. Super Sentai special effects as opposed to early Power Ranger special effects were actually, in my opinion, inferior. Power Ranger special effects were actually better initially. But, you know, over time, you know, Japan has gotten much better. And now I would say, you know, they've gotten it down to a science, at least in terms of their television shows. So, I mean, I would say if not anything else, I mean, Saban is at least on par or, you know, in some ways better, some ways worse. I guess it just depends on the series. I know it's going to be hard not to see that Bandai logo on those Power Ranger toys, huh? Hope the Jetman can be a film series. One could only hope. One could only hope about that. Yeah, what Fat Elf King is saying, the first season is the best because you watch it now and it's so bad it's great. Yeah, it is one of those so bad it's good, you know. It's bad in a good way. The Hyperforce. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not sure what Saban Brands intends to do as far as, you know, if they want to make what's in the comics canon to the show. I mean, they could. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, it would be another avenue for revenue for them. They would open up more possibilities if they did that. So, I mean, think about how you could introduce these characters into the show. I mean, you'd have to write a good story around them, but you know, something that would make sense. But it would be awesome. I mean, who wouldn't want to see like a character like that, like the Lord Drakon character in a TV episode? I mean, be crazy. Okay. I haven't seen the newest Super Sentai series. I have not. I have not seen you're talking about Lupin Ranger versus Powder Ranger. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. All right, let me see. Yeah, there's a lot of people are saying that Hasbro is going to be taking the Power Rangers license. I mean, hey, I like I said, I have not seen anything to confirm that just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like I said, they have Marvel, they have, you know, they have Marvel, they have Star Wars. I mean, just those two alone are huge for them to have. So, uh, and a whole host of others. I mean, so all right. I mean, Hasbro also makes GI Joe. How can I forget that? Hasbro makes Transformers. I mean, I can't believe I drew a blank on those. I mean, they have huge licenses. They have most of the things we know from pop culture. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go up ahead a little bit here so I can catch up with some of y'all's questions. Do you think that Hasbro would take over the legacy line or something like that with Bandai and the other companies producing something? Do you think we would get a proper product? I mean, Bandai's done such a great job with the legacy line. I would like to see them stick with it. That I wouldn't mind seeing them continue to go on with that. So, if not anything else. Of featured content creators that I would recommend, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're talking specifically tokusatsu, somebody mentioned him earlier was Marco Satsu, but his channel apparently is down at the moment. But I mean, I guess it just depends. I mean, what kind of channel recommendations are you looking for, Mark? All right. Easy Rider on Henshin Time. Well, Easy Rider's a buddy of mine. He's actually going to be in the next part of Henshin Time. So be on the lookout for that. Sorry, somebody asked me a question about Super Sentai. Let me see. You think Super Sentai can do well on streaming services? I don't see why not. I mean, Ultraman seems to be doing well on streaming services. I believe Crunchyroll had a couple of the Ultraman shows, and they seem to do pretty well. So I don't see why Super Sentai wouldn't do equally as well, maybe even better. I mean, because it gives people something. They obviously, even people that don't watch Power Rangers will see Super Sentai and they'll be like, isn't that Power Rangers? And they might be curious as to, and watch it and see, but they'll have something to immediately, visually associate it with something else. So what's up, Vance? Thanks for joining the stream, buddy. Appreciate that. So which era was better, Saban, Disney, or Neo Saban? Hard to say. I mean, I would say probably the best run of consistently good shows. It's hard to say. Possibly the original Saban era. But that's arguable. Channel recommendations that I dig. Well, channels that I would recommend. Let's see. Well, like I said, when his channel gets back up, well, since he's here watching, Erlen, he's got a good channel there. My buddy Easy Rider from Toku Time, he's got a good channel. My buddy Matt Burkett from Monstrosities. For those of you that like kaiju videos or kaiju related tokusatsu videos, I can't recommend him enough. His videos are really, really good. I mean, the guy has got a gift. The fact that he takes so much time to even the cinematography of his videos, the time and the amount of information that he gets and the time that he puts into making his videos is really incredible. He also has a channel called Apollo Z Hack, where he's going to be putting reviews on from time to time, and the guy is super, super talented, and he has his channel is just great. Monstrosities, a vlog of tokusatsu. That's a channel you guys should subscribe to if you haven't. I mean, he does phenomenal work. He is a good friend of mine personally, but he just does fantastic work. That's a channel I would recommend. Gaming channels, I would recommend. There's, for those of you that are into like retro gaming, Retroware is good. Obviously, channels like people that have come out of Retroware too, that have been pretty good. That are channels that I watch and would recommend would be the Gaming Historian, the Game Chasers. Those are all great channels. Another gaming channel, like One for Gaming News, that I would recommend would be Digital Boundaries. Guy, he does some pretty good work on his channel. So those are channels that I would say to check out. I'm trying to think others off the top of my head. That's all I got for right now, though. But I hope those are channels that you guys will check out because I think they're really good. Oh, McFarlane Toys. Possibly, maybe. I mean, the only thing with McFarlane Toys that I see as being the drawback is that even nowadays, McFarlane still doesn't have. I mean, on occasion, McFarlane Toys will make figures that have a lot of articulation, but that's always been one of their drawbacks, is that they're so focused on making them look so pretty that they're just really more statues than anything else. So, hello, Marcel Moore. Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate you. Ooh, do I think that NECA can do Power Rangers Legacy toys? Possibly. I mean, NECA does some pretty good quality work. I mean, uh, people that buy Godzilla toys and can't afford Monster Arts, I usually tell them to buy NECA Godzilla toys because they're probably going to be the next best thing. I mean, in terms of posability and articulation, I mean they'll never beat Monster Arts, but they're the next best thing, you know, and they cost way less than SH Monster Arts. So yeah, a lot of people think that Jew Ranger is better than MMPR. So I don't think you're in I don't think you're alone there. You're definitely not alone there. There's a lot of people that like Jew Ranger better. But I mean, Jew Ranger. I mean, although Jew Ranger is a decent show, it's a decent Super Sentai show. I mean, Jetman. Oh, Jetman is just it's on another level in my opinion. So, what did I think about Power Rangers the movie reboot? I actually made a video about it. I actually did a review after I had watched it in the theater with Bunny BGG, which is another channel I recommend also. She does like mostly Let's Plays and stuff, but she has some discussion videos on her channel that are pretty good. But I did a review with her here on this channel. If you guys go back a little bit, you'll go back into the video catalog, you'll see it. But overall, I did not really care for the newer Power Rangers movie. I don't hate it, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's kind of what I expected it to be. Bioman is a series too. That is highly regarded in Super Sentai. I have not seen I've seen only I think the first 5 episodes of Bioman, but I thought even just Bioman. If you guys haven't seen Bioman, I mean, Bioman starts off really violent. Like the very first episode is some of the most violent stuff I've ever seen in Super Sentai. What do you think of the Toku channel? There's a channel just called Toku. I have not seen it. I surprisingly don't know anything at all about it. I should probably look into it. Which reboot movie did better last year? Power Rangers or Pokemon I Choose You? I don't know because I have not seen Pokemon I Choose You, but I don't know. I don't know what the box office numbers are for Pokemon I Choose You. I do know that Power Rangers didn't do what it was expected to do. Sentai Writer, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching Henshin Time Part 9. Did I get to see Legend Heroes yet? No, I haven't seen that yet, but I will look. Is that a series? Is that an online series or a cartoon series? Do you know Este? I don't know who Este is. Oh, they dub Ultraman. Okay. If Saban gives the right to do a sequel to Jetman, like with Dino Force, I mean, Saban doesn't have the license to Jetman, although they were going to license Jetman first. Well, they have the license to air Super Sentai over here, so they, I guess technically in a sense do, but they never aired over here. I doubt they would do anything with Jetman now because of how old it is. But they were actually, prior to them doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they were going to bring Jetman over, but you know, they decided to go ahead and do Jew Ranger because of the dinosaur theme, which was a better choice for them to do. So hope they do a Juku B Fighter movie. What are your thoughts on that? I haven't seen B Fighter, so don't have any thoughts on it, at least not yet. I mean, I'd have to see B Fighter. I mean, I do know I have met Ruben Langdon, who was in B Fighter Kabuto. who was B Fighter Yama, and that great guy, by the way, very very nice guy. I think Bandai Namco will keep the Power Rangers license, the game license. Maybe, because I mean, it seems like, at least for now, it seems like what's going on is just the whole. It's pretty much the toys seems to be what's the parting of the ways there. Would you have Linkara, AVGN, or any other online fan guests? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I mean, I'm always down to collab with people. I mean, they just have to. I mean, I'm down to collab with whoever, as long as they're down to collab. If they want to do it, I mean, if people want us to collab together, I'm sure they'll let them know, and I'm down. I can say right now, I'd be down to collab with whoever. I mean, whether it be Linkara AVGN, whoever. I mean, as long as they're down to do it, I mean, I have no problem collabing with anybody. So, I mean, as you guys have seen in the videos, I've been able to sit down with some of the Rangers to get them involved in this project, which is, that was a dream come true within itself. And I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. So, Tokusatsu from South Korea, the whole series is on YouTube. Well, I'll have to take a look at it then. It's called Legend Heroes. I'll look it up. Hey, Jason Gonzalez, thanks for joining us. I haven't really talked too much about the Nickelodeon deal, but I briefly talked about it, but we can talk about it. If you got a question about it, let me know. What is my favorite Ultraman? I've only seen the original Ultraman series, so I don't really have a favorite Ultraman, at least not yet. Well, that's not true. I have, outside of the original series, I've seen Ultraman Nexus. So if I had to pick, I guess it would be Nexus for now, because I do like it better than the original Ultraman series. Heirloom, I'm down, bro. I'm down. Let's do it. We can do a collab. I don't know if I'm going to PMC though. That's still kind of up in the air, but hopefully, I mean, it just depends on if the timing clears up. If I'm able to. So I mean, if I go out to PMC this year, it'll be it'll definitely be going as a representative of Ranger Stop, along with Mike, the owner of Ranger Stop. So, if anything, we'll be heading out there. If we head out there, it'll probably be to promote Ranger Stop. So it'll be also to have fun, but that'd be the primary reason. So. Charizard Ranger, I have no idea. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. The whole Q Ranger Space Sheriff thing, I don't know. I should see the channel of Este, the Awesome Gamer. I mean, maybe I'll check him out. I mean, what kind of videos does he make? I mean, I assume he makes gaming videos. I have seen, I know Garage Hero Studios, I've seen the one movie that he made, a movie called, I think Gun Caliber, I believe it's called. I've seen that. I haven't seen anything else that they've made, but I have seen Gun Caliber. Okay. Yeah, man. Well, I'm always at Ranger Stop. That for sure I'll be at, because I help run that show. So I'm always at Ranger Stop, bro. Yeah, man. We could sit down. We could sit down for sure. Any other series with the Henshin time format? Jason Gonzalez, I actually have a series with kind of a similar format, but not exactly the Henshin time format. And that is Working Designs and Overlook Legacy. That is actually my video game series that I'm doing. And I'll probably be doing, hopefully, in this year, I hope to do more video game related content. But if you can give that a watch, I'd appreciate it. If you want to check out Working Designs and Overlooked Legacy, it's a series about a publishing company, a video game publishing company that existed until 2005 or six, that published a lot of favorite games of mine. You should check it out. So, it's a series that I'm very passionate about. And I also got the opportunity to collab on that with John from Retroware TV, which was, I'm really appreciative towards the fact that he collabed with me on that, because that was a passion project that I'd want to do for the longest time. And I'm still in the process of finishing the last part of that. Have you met every PR actor from the last 20 years? Who do you really want to meet, and who would you not? Okay, this is a good question. I have not met every single PR actor, but I've met a good bulk of them. I have met a good bulk of the Power Rangers actors. I've met pretty much everybody, just about everybody from MMPR. The only person I have not met is Amy Jo Johnson. But I've met just about everybody else. Obviously, I haven't met Tweet Train because she passed away, but I've met everybody else from MMPR except for Amy Jo Johnson. As far as who I would not want to meet, I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends. I mean, I'm down to meet any of them, as long as they know how to act civil and are not a jerk. I mean, there's some of them that I've heard that their reputation precedes them. Some of them have lived up to some of the bad reputation that has preceded them. I'm not going to say names of who they are, and some of them have gotten a bad rap, but have been actually okay. So it just depends. I mean, but even then, I try to give whoever I meet a fair shake. So, that Georgia will be adapted to PR. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they skipped Georgia. I mean, I know a lot of people want to see it adapted. I wouldn't be surprised if they skipped it. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. You tell me. As far as Kamen Rider stuff goes, man, if I could recommend a good Kamen Rider series to start off with, I would say either Faiz or Gaim would be a good place to start. I mean, me personally, as far as Heisei era writers is concerned, I started off with the one that more or less started the modern Heisei era, and that would be Kuga. I loved Kuga a lot. So that's another good one, I would say. But it starts off kind of slow. I will warn you of that. Well, I appreciate that, Galaxy. Thank you. Who will make the new toys? I don't know, but a lot of people are saying Hasbro. The scuttlebutt is that Hasbro is going to be the one taking up the license. So we'll see. Sorry, Decade did it to you? Did it for me. Well, Decade, I like Decade. I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't care for Decade. There's a lot of people that have mixed feelings about Decade. I liked it. I thought it was okay. I don't think it's, I can see why people don't like Decade, but I liked it. What if Family Guy did a crossover with PR? Oh, heaven forbid. Would it do better on Netflix instead of airing on Nick? Hard to say. I mean, potentially, it could potentially do better on Netflix. I mean, as we all know, with Power Rangers being on Netflix, I would definitely say that when they got all the older shows, that definitely helped breathe new life back into the show. But it's hard to say. I mean, we'd have to see. Don't hate on Kuga. Kuga's great. Oh no. Okay, no. You put in all the. Okay, I see what you did there. Gotcha. Okay. Just so you all know, I'll also be streaming throughout the week on my Twitch channel. So for those of you that didn't know, you can follow me on Twitch. I don't know if I'll be streaming any more tonight, but I'll probably be streaming tomorrow after, probably earlier than this. But this stream is going to about, I'm going to go for another hour. I'm going to go to about 10 o'clock tonight with this stream. But for those of you that want to see me streaming on another platform there, I do have a Twitch channel. So same name, Toy Bounty Hunters. I think the show doing 2 years is ruining it. Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the 2-year format is not doing them any favors, but I mean, I understand why they have to do it that way, you know, so that they're not wasting 20 some odd episodes and just doing each episode or each season as just, you know, taking all these shows from Japan, you know, all these ones that are coming in from Toei and just doing them for like, you know, basically taking a 50 episode show and only airing 20 episodes of it. You know, they're trying to stretch it out as much as they can. So yeah, probably you might be right about that, Mariner. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, 2 years is a lot of time to invest in a show. I mean, and people lose interest quick. So, welcome back, Dylan Smith. You think Spawn Bandai split? Let's see. Will have an impact on which Sentai get. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that the whole split between Saban and Bandai is really going to affect that. I really don't, because again, you know, that's we're talking about a deal to manufacture the toys. So, you know, that has nothing, you know, unless Toei had some issue with Saban, that's what would affect you know, the adaptation. I don't think that I mean, it could maybe in some way. I mean, because then again, you know, the toy sales are tied into the success of a lot of these shows as well. So hard to say. Maybe, possibly. I live on the East Coast. Shout Factory DVDs. I mean, I would love to see them do some pre-Jew stuff. I mean, that would be great. I mean, I would love to see Jetman released as a DVD set. I mean, I would buy that first day. First day. I mean, I would love to see some of those shows. There's a lot of good shows, you know, pre-Jew. Jetman, I mean, to name one right there. I mean, Live Man, Mask Man. It's a great show. Would we see a Power Rangers He-Man crossover if Mattel got the license? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. I will link my Patreon. Actually, Jason Gonzalez, I appreciate that, man. If you want to support me on Patreon, I actually have the link below in the description of this video. It should be, but I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. And I really do appreciate that, man. If you want to help support the channel, definitely appreciate that. That's the Patreon right there. And it gets you access to basically behind the scenes stuff, you know, like deleted scenes to some of the Henshin Time videos and things like that. Shout Factory has a Roku channel. Man, I mean, I'm going to have to look into that then. If they were streaming some of the older stuff. I mean, it would be, they could, I mean, I don't see why, there should be no reason why they should skip Jojer, but I mean, it's weird. I mean, I don't, you know, I don't really even understand why they skipped Go Busters. I mean, I know that the reason why was because the toy sales weren't too great in Japan, as opposed to, say, like, you know, Tokuger, which the toy sales were baller in Japan. They did really well. But the thing is, the Go Busters toys, I think, would have sold a lot better here because, for one, they were transformable toys, and kids love Transformers, and spy-related toys. You know, anybody who thinks that spy-related stuff doesn't have a market here in the U.S., you got to be kidding. I mean, so many spy-related. I mean, the Spy Kid movies were huge. I mean, spy-based cartoons. I mean, like Kim Possible, things like that. I mean, Sky, or I should say, spy-related toys and merchandise would have done well, I think. All right, Heirloom. Hey, thanks for joining the stream, bud. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you hanging in here with us. And like I said, for those of you that want to see some Power Rangers related content, be sure to check out my boy Heirloom. He does some commentary videos on Power Rangers and Super Sentai stuff. He also talks more in depth, like, you know, he talks about the comic books and things like that. And he also covers other TV shows. So check him out. Jake Paul is trash. Oh, man. That's hilarious. Hey, man, no problem, man. I enjoy the work you do, man, and I'm sure others that watch watch your videos will agree. So, Dragon's Aaron, hey, what's up? Thanks for joining the stream. Dylan Smith, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, well, I could tell you for one. I mean, Jetman was a very serious series, but Jetman was really considered, but they just held out. They held out, so. They held out for Jew Ranger, which was the right choice. How would Stan Lee have handled Sun Vulcan 1982? Well, Lewis, from my understanding, Stan Lee, his idea was to do pretty much what Saban ended up doing. He wanted to take the show and cut it up just like that. You know, use the Japanese stock footage of them in the suits as the action footage, and then use American actors in, you know, obviously an American, you know, or whatever kind of setting, you know, film the American characters separately and then splice it in with the Japanese stock footage for the action sequences. So that was actually what, you know, his idea. That was actually something that he had come up with the idea of doing first. Obviously Saban ended up making it come to life, but that's actually what Stan Lee wanted to do with it. And given the fact that Stan Lee is a writer, I'm pretty sure that he would have his focus probably would have been to make the shows, at least those initial run of shows, to be very story oriented, driven. He probably would have had, you know, all these shows have a continuous story arc, of course, but that would have been something he really would have focused on he would have made sure that would have taken precedence to, you know, he would have made sure that that's something that would have been a primary focus of the show. Good writing, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Sorry, so why do you think VR Troopers didn't last as long as PR? Well, the reason why VR Troopers didn't last as long as Power Rangers is simply because they ran out of the stock footage. That's it. They burned through the stock footage because they used 3 different shows to make VR Troopers. They used Jiku Senshi Spielbahn, they used Chojenki Metalder, and they used Space Sheriff Scheider. And you know, they exhausted that really quickly. All the stock footage from those shows, they reused it so fast. They reused so much of it, and they used it up so quickly that there was just nothing left. And at that point, you know, Power Rangers by far was their biggest cash cow. I mean, VR Troopers did well for them, but Power Rangers was Saban Brands, you know, that was their baby. So they were going to focus all their money and attention back on that. So, but that's why I'd answer your question. It's just, they literally just ran out of the footage. Uh, in order to do Henshin time, I mean, I do have to do a good amount of research because unfortunately there isn't a lot of books that have a lot of Super Sentai information. Not any that have been published, at least that I've found that have really good information in them. So I do have to do the tricky thing is that I have to go to a lot of different websites, several different websites, and I have to corroborate a lot of the information. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky because some websites are more credible than others. Some do a better translation of the Japanese material than others. So it gets tricky. I mean, I have to pretty much go through a serious like validation and verification process before I go ahead and move forward with writing the scripts for each Henshin Time episode. I have to make sure I try to corroborate it as best I can. I know it, and I will say this. I'll be completely honest about this. I know I've made little mistakes in some of the episodes by not mentioning certain things. You know, it's not a perfect process. I mean, I try the best I can though, but yeah, it does. The first episode of Henshin Time was the one that I did the most amount of research on because they're really, I mean, you have to really, really, really dig for a lot of information about Shotaro Shinomori. So that was the one that I spent. I literally spent about 4 months just researching the first part before I ever did it. My favorite color. My favorite color. I mean, I guess it depends. If I had to pick, I guess it'd be like red and black or something. Um, Metalder is awesome. I love Metalder. That sounds awesome, Dylan Smith. I have not watched Hyperforce yet. I mean, it's hard to say how Stanley would have handled Super Sentai as opposed to Saban. I mean, that's just one of those questions. I mean, we'll never know the answer to really. I mean, we could only speculate. I mean, I think that, as I said before, I think he definitely would have made sure that stories would have been more consistent. So I'm sure storytelling would have been more of a primary focus of his adaptation of Super Sentai over here. Do you know why the suits from Starship Troopers were passed down to PR Lost Galaxy? I don't think that that's what happened. Um, that's hilarious, though. I will be at MegaCon. Yes, I always set up. I always set up at me and Mikey from Ranger Stop always go to MegaCon. So we get a booth at MegaCon. So yes, I will be at MegaCon as a vendor. Jap Anime is having a live stream. He's not listening to what I'm saying, so that's why you're here. Oh, I see. So I wasn't your first choice, huh? Dragon Zeron, you break my heart. It's cool though. I still love you. Okay, let's see. Will I be at Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina? No, unfortunately, I will not be there. The next out of state convention that I will be going to will be Lexington Twain Comic Con, and that is in March. So there's a very, very, very slim chance that I might be going to Rally SuperCon over there in North Carolina in July. That's a very slim chance, though. I'm not 100% certain of that. Of course, I try to answer as many questions as I can. So if I'm missing anybody's questions, sorry, try to type it again. If I miss it, try to type it again, and I'll try to answer it the second time around because sometimes I miss them as they're scrolling up. So The Nostalgic Nerd did a review. Nostalgic Nerd, who is that? I don't know who that is. You know, I heard about the Overwatch skin for Genji, but I don't play I don't play Overwatch, but I did hear about that. I heard that the skin that they have for him is kind of like a more of a Kamen Rider inspired skin. But I haven't seen it yet. But I heard about it. I did hear about it though. You think Disney was a better choice? There's a lot of people that would agree with you, Cody. There's a lot of people that would agree with you. There's a lot of people that want to see Disney get it back. As far as Beetleborgs, I mean, it just ran its course. So I don't know if I'm going to PMC. I don't know yet, but I'll definitely be at Ranger Stop. I go to Ranger Stop every year. But PMC, I don't know yet. PMC is kind of up in the air right now. Charizard, thanks for being a part of the stream, bud. You take care. Masato Shimon, I don't know who that is, but I will look into them. Sabana's money hungry monster. Might as well call him Mr. Krabs. Oh, Nostalgia Critic. I've seen a couple of Nostalgia Critics videos. Hey, no problem, Vance. No problem. Tell him thank you for asking his question. He sung a lot of tokusatsu songs. Okay, so he's... I'm surprised I don't know his name. I mean, I know like Takayuki Mayauchi, and I know, you know, Hironobu Kageyama. But I don't know too... I mean, I should probably get a little bit more informed about some of these other tokusatsu singers. Do I think that Lupin Ranger versus Pacha Ranger will be skipped? I don't know. I mean, it's possibly because of it being two separate teams. They might not know what would be the best way to adapt that in a way that makes sense. So possibly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Do I have any theories on Power Rangers? I mean, that depends. I mean, you'd have to be a little bit more specific. Like, do you mean like, do I have any theories on the future of the show itself, on a particular season, on, you know, just Power Rangers as a franchise? He sung the OG Kamen Rider theme after Fujioka. Okay. And Azuman. I know an Azuman Ginga man. Gotcha, man. Okay, I've heard him sing before. I just didn't know his name. Sure, man. I mean, pass it along, man. Pass it along. Pass the info along. Mystic Knights. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing another, you know, original tokusatsu series like that. Something like a Mystic Knights. That'd be cool. You know, Mystic Knights was a great show. For any of you that haven't seen it, watch it. Mystic Knights of Tiranaga was a great show. Completely original. Have I ever considered making my own Ranger team? In my imagination, I mean, probably like not an original team, but probably I've thought of who I'd want to be a part of a team in terms of like past Rangers. You know, I have considered doing a podcast. I mean, that's something that I've actually been considering for years. Me and Manny, I've talked about it for years now, years. I mean, from the time I even started the channel, that's something I've wanted to do. So eventually I do still want to do that. But the thing is, as far as a podcast would go, it would be more than just me covering like Super Sentai, you know, Kamen Rider, any kind of tokusatsu stuff. It would be it would be some of that would be thrown in there, but I would probably cover a variety of different things, tokusatsu, video games, maybe wrestling, maybe MMA, a couple of other things. Like it would just be more of a conversational type of format. Any career opportunities available? No, not at the moment, man. I'm just a one-man show for the time being. So with help from friends. So, I'm taking it one step at a time, Do I think Super Sentai would have made a good game for PS4 or other consoles? I think they have made some Super Sentai games, I believe. I know they've made some Kamen Rider games. Somebody in the chat would probably know better about that than I would. Okay. I mean, I probably have heard it. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Have I seen Linkara's History of Power Rangers, and what are my thoughts? I have seen the first one. I think I've seen part 1 and I think part 2. As far as his History of Power Ranger series, interestingly enough, when I started doing Henshin time, I had no idea that his series even existed. But the thing is, it was good to know that his History of Power Ranger series is something different, because he does more of the review style format, whereas I'm trying to do more of a documentary style format. So I'm trying to be more, I'm trying to present things more factually and tell the story of how these things came to be and what went into the making, some behind the scenes stuff. So, but I have seen his history of some of his, like, I think the first 2 parts of his History of Power Ranger series. All right, well, Dylan, thanks for joining the stream. Galaxy Atlas, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys will continue to tune in. If you guys want to see me stream on Twitch, I stream on Twitch, so follow me on Twitch if you can. Just putting that out there. The stream's not ending, just so you guys know. I'm just putting that out there. All Tommy Legacy base powers. That'd be like a super OP team. Yeah, man, I'm hoping. Yeah, Mark, I hope that we do get a chance to do a podcast. I really do want to do one. It's something that I've wanted to do for years now. So it's definitely something. I hope maybe even sometime this year I can tackle that. Sometime towards the middle or end of this year. Favorite character from Transformers Beast Wars? That one is easy. Dinobot. Dinobot was my favorite. I appreciate that, Vance. Yeah, I'll definitely need all the help I can to put it out there. So, Mystic Knights, there's some sites. I'm pretty sure there's some sites that you could probably stream it off of. So, Mystic Knights is it's available out there. I want to say it was on Netflix for a while. I don't think it is anymore. I believe it was available for streaming on Netflix at some point in time. I could be wrong about that though. Kamen Rider Kuga is my favorite of the Heisei, yes, of the initial Heisei Rider era. The thing about Kuga is it starts off really slow. You just have to get past those 10 episodes. Once you get past those first 10 episodes, it starts to get a little bit more manageable. But I will say that the first probably 10 episodes of the show, or the first 8 episodes of the show, I would say more specifically, are a little bit grueling to get through. But once you get past them, man, Kuga is a great series. Kuga to me is just man, it's well written. I mean, towards the end, it gets a little bit more lackluster, but I still love it. I don't know. I did watch Transformers Beast Machines, but man, it hurt. I mean, because it was such a drop off from what Beast Wars was. I mean, Beast Wars was so good, especially towards the end of that first season, and the second season. Just the second season of Beast Wars was just phenomenal. And then they decided to go this whole route of, mysticism, with the whole Oracle thing. And I don't know, I wasn't really feeling that too much. They kept it a little bit more cut and dry in Beast Wars. And really, I liked that what I liked about Beast Wars is that they tied in they retconned a lot of things, but they also tied in, they made things make a lot more sense. Things that you saw in Transformers, the original series, they made it make a lot more sense in Beast Wars, and they tied it in together very well. Like, for example, like the whole thing with, I'm sure any of you that have seen the original Transformer series probably remember Starscream became a ghost, which was kind of silly because he was a machine. So he shouldn't have been able to become a ghost. But I like how they kind of did a retcon explanation for that in Beast Wars by making it that it was actually his spark that was just kind of traveling, through space and time, and, made its way, into Waspinator in the past. And it was just, it was a much more plausible explanation for him still able to be alive, you know what I mean? Or him being able to possess people as his spark, instead of as a ghost. So. Shin, Zoe, and Jay are actually Heisei, but for whatever reason, they are, at least as far as Toei is concerned, Toei marks them as, doesn't mark them as Heisei. Toei marks them as, technically they are Heisei, but they're not marked as Heisei. They put them as part of Showa, which doesn't really make any sense because they are really the initial run of Heisei. So. Greetings, Andrew. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Glad that you're a fan of the channel. Hope you'll stick around and watch all the other videos that I make on here, especially my working design series. Hope you'll check that out. It's a video game related series, and hope you'll enjoy it. Just to let you know, Andrew, I also have a Twitch channel that I stream on. So if you get a chance, follow me on there. I'll probably be streaming on there tomorrow. So Mystic Knights is on Daily Motion. Okay, so there we go. Vance let you all know right there that Mystic Knights is on Daily Motion. You guys should check it out if you get a chance. Fantastic series. So you guys should definitely check that out. Well, he's still considered. I mean, overall, they're still always going to consider him a writer. I mean, you're right. He's a bug man. He's more of a bug man than anything, but he's a common writer. I mean, if anything, that's kind of, Shin was more of the embodiment of what Shotaro Shinomori probably wanted in a common writer. He wanted something horrific like that. So. If you guys have ever read Skullman or have seen Skullman was actually also the prototype, I guess you could say, the forerunner to Kamen Rider as well. But Skullman ended up becoming its own thing, which is cool within itself. So, Alpha 5 in that. I mean, I know it wasn't the same Alpha. It wasn't the same Alpha 5. So, I mean, I don't know, just kind of weird, I guess. I mean, I know it was a completely different Alpha. I didn't really care for that. I thought, they should have brought back Richard Horvitz. What do I think of Kamen Rider Kabuto? Pros and cons. Ooh, I like Kabuto. Kabuto is one of my favorite Heisei era writers. Cons, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, I really like Kabuto. I guess if there's any con, and this wouldn't be what I would consider to be a con, I guess it would be that the character was a super arrogant character, the main character of the series. but I wouldn't consider that a con. I mean, I thought he was great. I thought he was hilarious. You know, the fact that he was so arrogant actually made it enjoyable for me. So I mean, I love. I guess I would have to watch Kabuto again to really assess the cons of the series. Let's see. So, yep. Rest in peace, Shotaro Shinomori. Yeah, I agree with you, Mariner. Yeah, Lewis, I would say give Kuga another chance, man. I mean, just get past those 10, just get past those first 10 episodes and you'll be all right. Yep, Shotaro Shinomori did pass away quite some time ago. All right. So, yeah, Shotaro Shinomori did pass away. Unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know the specifics on his death. I'd read about it a while ago. I don't know exactly what it was. Um, but yeah, I do know that he passed away some time ago. I mean, I don't know if that's what it was. Could have been. I mean, look, I mean, there's a lot of manga artists. I mean, they put in some crazy hours, or manga artists, I should say. They put in some crazy hours, man. They do a ton of work. So I know that the guy that created Hunter x Hunter, I know he puts in some crazy hours. He's always having to take time off because of the crazy hours he puts into Hunter x Hunter, apparently, because it actually takes a physical toll on him. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a contributing factor. So, I mean, not that Ishinomori was doing a lot of manga around that time. Anyways, I don't know exactly what he was up to, but I mean, he's a man of many talents. So, yes, yes, I absolutely do plan on visiting Japan at some point in time. I don't know when. Um, Man, sometime in the future though, for sure. I mean, because I definitely there's other projects that I want to do, and I definitely want to be in Japan to be able to do some of them. So for sure, I definitely plan on going to Japan. Jojo, well, I don't know yet, Trevor, because I have not seen either one of those shows, so hard to say. I mean, in a best case scenario, I mean, I mean, look, I would want to see, you know, Saban adapt as many Super Sentai as possible, just to see what, you know, their take would be on that particular season. So I didn't, nah, Vance, I haven't seen that, man. I'm gonna have to watch it though. Have I seen Kamen Rider Build? I have not seen Build yet. The last Kamen Rider show that I watched in its entirety was Gaim. No, scratch that. The last one, yeah, no, it was Gaim. Yeah, Gaim was the last one I watched in its entirety. So I have seen Amazon, and I did like. Do you mean Amazon, the old Amazon, or Amazons? Because I've seen both, and I like both. Dragon's Errand, man. Well, head on over to Japan, man. That's the dream. My buddy, my buddy Matt Briquette from Monstrosities got a chance to go to Japan this last year for the first time, and he loved it. He went for the premiere of the Godzilla movie, the one that's streaming on Netflix now. He got a chance to go to the actual, you know, theater premiere of that, and it was an experience for him. He loved it. He had a great time. So I definitely, he told me a lot of good things about it. You guys should check out his videos on it. Fantastic. Old Amazon. Old Amazon. Yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes of the original Kamen Rider Amazon. I liked it for what it was. I mean, I could appreciate those shows are hard to watch, but I could appreciate them for what they are, and the work they put in. I mean, even for its time, Amazon was a controversial show because of how violent it was. I mean, he would literally, the way he would defeat the monsters was to literally rend them. He'd just tear them apart limb from limb. So, well, I mean, Lewis, hey man, start saving money, man. It's not cheap to go to Japan, man. Start saving money. Thoughts on the 1998 Godzilla film with Matthew Broderick? Here's the crazy thing. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a good Godzilla movie. The movie itself is not a bad movie, though. If you just dismiss, if you dismiss the fact that they call it Godzilla, I mean, it's a pretty all right movie. But I mean, as a Godzilla movie, I mean, there's nothing about it that, aside from the fact that the monsters rampaging through town, there's nothing about it that really resembles Godzilla or really resembles the spirit of Godzilla, I would say. So as a movie, as just a giant monster movie, it's okay. As a Godzilla movie, of course, I would have to agree with the consensus. It's not a good Godzilla movie because it doesn't really. There's nothing about it that really feels like Godzilla. So he died of congestive heart failure. That is a shame. That is too bad. Shimon did those. I mean, well, I mean, it's a good series. Yeah, he devours them. Like he's a savage, man. Kamen Rider Amazon is a straight up savage. The dude is just he's something else. Oh, you're going to Power Morphicon? Cool, man. Uh, I might be going there, so you might see me there. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I mean, if it's possible, I mean, we'll make it happen. So, if you see me there, just come and say hi. Charizard Ranger, I thought you were leaving, man. What happened? You're back. Welcome back. Glad to have you back on the stream. Oh man, so many Japanese movies. Do you got a pen and paper to write this down, or somewhere to type it up? I mean, are you looking for tokusatsu movies or just Japanese movies in general? I mean, awesome. Yeah, I need to get eating after this myself. So I actually have a buddy of mine that lives in Houston. So, and there is a convention out in Houston that I would be interested in going to. I believe they do Retropalooza out in Houston. So, if I ever went to a convention, it would probably be Retropalooza, the one that the Game Chasers run. Yeah, well, I'm sure you will, man. I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point in time, Dragon. Oh yeah, for its day, man. Donut King for its day, Amazon was pretty violent. So I mean, personally, I mean, if you don't want to watch anything old, Andrew, I would say to if you don't want to start with the original Ultraman series, I would recommend Nexus. Nexus, I think, is a good way to start Ultraman. So I've seen a little bit of Mebius. That was a good one. I just I like Nexus a little bit more though. My friend's name is Jovi, and I'm not sure if you know him. He just moved over there. So he literally just moved there last week. So yeah, they renamed him Mike Crawford. The reason they renamed it Zilla was because they don't consider him like godly. You know, he doesn't deserve that kind of title. So that's why they call him Zilla over there. How good will Hasbro make the PR? Well, that I guess that just depends. I mean, we'll have to wait and see on that. Jacka, I don't know. It's hard to say because the thing is, when Jacka came out, it didn't do well because it actually tackled a lot of more mature themes that I don't think the Japanese kids were really ready for. And also, I don't think that the playing card motif, was really all that appealing to kids. So I don't know. It probably wouldn't have done all that well over here either. Kingbacks. Okay. I'll let him know that, Dragon. Appreciate that. What are your thoughts on Super Ninja Steel and how does it compare to the show it's based on? Um, I have not seen Ninja Steel at all, and I haven't seen Ninja, so I can't really compare. But at least from the accounts of people that have seen both, for most of the people I know that watch both, I have heard that Ninja was better. So take that for what it is. I mean, that's not my opinion though, so I'd have to get back to you. But at least from people that I've spoken with that have seen both, a lot of them don't like Ninja Steel. So yeah, Zilla got trashed in Godzilla Final Wars. Zilla got absolutely trashed. He didn't get a hit in. He tried to jump at Godzilla and then he just got smashed and then nuked. So yeah, but just to get back, somebody had asked me about Japanese movies I would recommend. Anything by Kaita Amamiya. Anything by Kaita Amamiya. So that would be Mechanical Violator Hakaider. I would recommend Zerum. They're the kind of Zerum is, you know, they're kind of strange movies, but they're just fun. I mean, they're just fun movies. As far as good movies, like Yokai War was I thought was a pretty good movie. A Japanese movie. Zebra Man was actually a pretty decent movie as well. I think Legendary Godzilla has more respect. Probably, you're probably right, Charizard Ranger. What is the most cool Toku weapon that can be very deadly? I mean, look at that Gabu revolver. That thing is. Imagine if that thing was a real weapon. That thing would be, woo, be destroying people. And then it drags him down as Victor and Monty. Yeah, again, I'm gonna have to watch Ninja Steel because, you know, I don't know anything at all about it. Well, having rings as morphers, that is actually, if I remember correctly, I believe Denji Man, their morphers were rings. So I don't see why not. I mean, I think that's, you know, I'm surprised that they haven't done ring morphers. Yeah, I don't think they haven't done ring morphers since Denji Man. So, but I think the reason why they haven't is because they want something bigger for kids to, you know, they want to have something that they could manufacture that is bigger to be able to sell to kids. So I don't think that's why we probably will never ever see ring morphers um, ever again. It could be, but have you seen any Rooster Teeth series like Red versus Blue? I saw Red versus Blue back in the day. I have not seen, I guess Ruby is that series. I haven't seen that, but I saw Red versus Blue back in the day. I did see Showa versus Heisei. I did like it. I thought it was good for what it was. Lewis, I do sometimes I download and sometimes I stream them on Kiss Asian. So just depends. I mean, it depends. It really depends on the amount of space I have. So Manny Garcia, to answer your question, no. The whole thing with Saban, the whole partnership between Saban Brands and Bandai will not affect any of the Japanese stuff at all. So don't have to worry about that. Toei is still going to have Bandai produce the toys for them in Japan. All the morphers and things like that. All the different change devices, all the Zords and stuff that they produce. All that, none of that's going to be affected by this thing that's happened between us, or this thing that's going to happen between Saban Brands and Bandai. So really, Red versus Blue is still going. I didn't even know it was still going, man. That's crazy. Without ad blocker equals virus.net. That's why I have an ad blocker, man. So I always have the ad blocker on. And I have a pretty good antivirus program, so I don't play that. Mm. All right. So we got about, let me see, about 15 minutes left on the stream. So be sure to keep asking those questions, y'all. And for those of you that don't know, or if you guys are on social media, be sure to follow me on Twitter. If anything, if you guys ever want to just randomly ask me stuff throughout the day on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I've been on there a little bit more often. So what do I believe was the biggest flaw in Super Mega Force? Again, another series that I have not watched yet, but at least, well, one thing that I don't have to watch, one thing that I could say, and I don't have to watch Super Mega Force to have an opinion on this, is one thing that I can tell you that I know about Super Mega Force that I did not like was them using these. I thought it was a mistake for them to show pre Jew Ranger Super Sentai teams in Super Mega Force and give them these catchy little names, because you're it's cool that there are there's these different modes, but there's no context behind that. I mean, you're showing people these suits that they'll never ever see again, that they don't know anything at all about. I think it would have been better just to focus on, if they could have made any kind of original footage, use just the MMPR suits, anything that has the MMPR suits on from there. Because I mean, I think it was fine to use the Die Ranger ones, but I think that that's a mistake, because I mean, there's no reason for kids to really care about any of those other suits. There's really not. I mean, at least, there's a lot of kids that have seen other Power Ranger seasons, especially some of the older ones. So they have something to still reference. By putting in all these, pre-Jew Ranger Sentai suits in it, you're putting stuff. It's really throwaway stuff. I mean, kids will see it and be like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of cool," but they don't really care about it, and there's not really any story behind it. It's just like, "Oh, this is Blitz mode," or whatever they were calling them, and it seemed like something pointless to do, in my opinion. So, but I mean, they have to use up that footage, so. Um, Well, originally Ram Jam, Tommy wasn't going to be the White Ranger. They were actually trying to get, I believe that there was even talks at some point for Brad Hawkins from VR Troopers, Ryan Steele, to be the White Ranger. And after that, there was talks for Brad Hawkins to even be the Gold Ranger in Zeo. So would Tommy have still been the White Ranger? I mean, he probably would have still been the White Ranger. Had half the cast not left, I think Tommy probably would have still been White Ranger, but had half the cast not left midway through the filming of the second season, I don't think that Tommy would have been the leader. I think Jason would have continued to be the leader. Had there not been that cast change mid-season, I believe Jason would have continued on to be leader. And from all accounts of what I've read, that seems to be the case, that he would have been the White Ranger, but he wouldn't have been the leader of the show. So I haven't seen Ghost Sager. I've heard mostly negative things about it, though. But that doesn't mean I won't watch it. I mean, I'm still down to watch it. He would literally, Donut King, he would literally just bite into them and just tear them apart. So why do I think Saban and Bandai's partnership ended? I have no idea. I think maybe it could be that Bandai, maybe both parties don't feel satisfied with the recent toy sales. Maybe Saban Brands just wants to experiment and see what else is out there, just kind of shop around a little bit, see what it's like to work with a different toy company. Maybe they feel that, maybe Saban Brands feels that a bigger toy manufacturer will help them. Maybe maybe a different toy manufacturer will help them on a global scale better, or I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, we could only really speculate as to why, but I mean, I guess as far as Saban Brands is concerned, maybe for them, things have run their course with Bandai. So they've decided to move on and see if there's any greener pastures out there. So let's see. What's your age, race, religion, favorite? Well, I'm up there in age. So race, Hispanic, religion, that would be Christian. Favorite food, I guess pizza, and I guess favorite drink would be, at this point, coffee. All right, let's see. Answering a couple more questions here before we end this for tonight. Manny Garcia, I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. I mean, we just have to, Kamen Rider just has to be exposed to a greater audience. I mean, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight probably helped plant a little bit of that seed, but they still haven't been able to adapt it in a way that's really appealing to kids just yet. So no, I don't think we'll ever see another Ninja Turtle Power Rangers crossover. I mean, we could. I mean, if it stays on Nickelodeon, it's possible, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, though, especially now that really they're focusing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles more as an animated series. So if they decide to do another live action series, then maybe, but I doubt it. Doubt that's ever going to happen. Could you see Saban Brands doing a dub version of Kamen Rider instead of an adaptation if Toei allowed them? Ooh, that is a good question. I mean, I would actually prefer to see that first as a way to kind of introduce it, because I would really, if Saban Brands was to decide to go ahead and try to adapt Kamen Rider over here, I think that would be a good way to kind of experiment a little bit with it, because I would say their best course of action would be to try to target an older demographic. Because, I mean, I think if you watch Kamen Rider and you watch Super Sentai, even though the shows that are both meant for kids, you could clearly see that Kamen Rider feels a little bit more mature than Super Sentai. So I would say, target it at a little bit of an older demographic of young kids, maybe, that 10 to, 14, 10 to 13, or 8 to 13 demographic. And I would say it would even appeal to some teenagers. So do I think Gokaiger will return? Probably not, unless it's in a return special, like a movie or something like that. But as a series, I don't know. I mean, it would have to do. I mean, Toei has had sequel series before. I mean, Kamen Rider and Kamen Rider Black RX are a great example of that. Do you think that Adnis still owns Kamen Rider? I have no idea. Kabuto would be a good one to adapt. I agree. That would be awesome if there was a channel like that. Have I seen any Korean suit series? I have not, but my buddy Vance here on the stream said that there is one that airs here on YouTube called Legend Heroes or Hero Legends, which I'm going to probably check out sometime this week. That's like a Korean tokusatsu show. Who do you want to get the rights to Power Rangers after Bandai? Well, a lot of people are saying that Hasbro is going to get the rights. I don't know if that's 100% verified yet. If it is, great. But I would think that Hasbro would be a fool. They'd be fools, I should say, to pass up on the Power Rangers license. I mean, it only stands to benefit. I mean, they're already a powerhouse as it is, but I mean, could you imagine this? Hasbro having G.I. Joe, Transformers, Marvel, Star Wars, Power Rangers. I mean, come on, that's crazy. I mean, right there, you got five. You would have five franchises right there that are deeply rooted already in, the American mainstream and pop culture. Yeah, they would probably have to do that, Charizard Ranger. Do I have any helmets? No, I don't. I actually have quite a bit of Toku toys. I don't have them here with me, but I have some belts. I probably have more Kamen Rider belts than anything else. As far as Toku toys are concerned, but my Tokusatsu collection has gotten a lot smaller over the years. So maybe I'll do a video about that. If you guys want to see a video about, maybe I'll do a video on my Tokusatsu collection or video game collection or something like that in the future, so you guys can see. It's really small. It's not as big as it used to be. So, but thanks. See, appreciate that. Well, who knows? Maybe Funimation might get it. So maybe Funimation might get it. All right. So what happened to Robo Knight and Super Mega Force? I have no idea. The mystery of Robo Knight. Digimon Fusion. I have not watched Patrol Ranger or Lupin Ranger yet. I have to put that on the docket. A lot of people have been asking me that, so I may. Yeah, they didn't mean anything. I mean, I don't really know a lot of people that are too on the purist bandwagon. I don't know anybody that really gets offended by Tokusatsu. At least not. I don't know anybody, at least not in my circle, that I can think of off the top of my head, that is too picky about how Tokusatsu is adapted over here. I mean, I know people that have criticisms of it, but nobody that's really that really gets upset about it. So, Yeah, he was just, I know he was just kind of thrust in there. I know there was a lot of inconsistencies with Super Mega Force, so that was a lot of people's problem with it. But okay, I'm going to start wrapping it up here, so be sure to get those questions in. Got about 2 more minutes here, and then I'll be calling the stream for tonight. I want to thank you all just in advance here once again for tuning into the stream. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. If you guys want to continue to support, please watch the videos, share them if you can, like them, all that good stuff. Also, like I said, I also stream on Twitch. So if you guys want to follow me on there, I'm probably going to be streaming there tomorrow at some point in time or sometime this weekend. So follow me on Twitch. I usually announce it on my Twitter too. If you guys can follow me on Twitter, I usually announce when I'm going to be streaming. So who got me into tokusatsu? Actually, I mean, I got into tokusatsu the same way a lot of people did, by watching Godzilla. But as far as like Henshin Hero Tokusatsu, I mean, the first one I actually ever saw was Ultraman Towards the Future, but it was just called Ultraman over here, and it aired in 1992 in syndication. That was actually my first exposure to like transforming hero tokusatsu. And then I saw Power Rangers, and you know, the rest is history. But the reason I like Power Rangers so much was because it reminded me a lot of Voltron. So was there a season that I skipped the toys over but wished I got them? Power Rangers in Space. I wish I had picked up those toys back when I had the opportunity to get them. When is the next Henshin time? Next Henshin time, I mean, it's being currently worked on. So just be on the lookout. For anybody that's patrons of mine, they'll usually get a sneak preview of Henshin time before it's even out. Like actually later, sometime probably later, either this month or next, I'm actually going to be releasing a sneak preview of some of Henshin time for you watching that are patrons. So be on the lookout for that. Hey, no problem, Vance. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for that, Charizard Ranger. Dino Charge and the Dino Chargers. Yeah, man, you should have gotten on those. A lot of them are really expensive now, too. Nice talking to you, too, Lewis. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and call the stream there, guys. I appreciate you watching. Like I said before, please tune in for the next one. Also, like I said, follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter because I do stream on there. So if you guys want to check that out, it's Toy Bounty Hunters on Twitch. And on Twitter, it's just Toy Bounty Hunter. If you guys want to follow me on there, I always announce when I'm gonna be streaming. So like I said, I'll probably be streaming tomorrow on Twitch. So if you guys want to check me out on there, please follow me on Twitch. All right. I'll answer this one last question. Let's see. Can Saban really be allowed to keep the parent brand? What's Bandai? Well, you got to understand, Saban brands, they have the licensing for the show, and that pretty much supersedes even whatever, you know, the toys manufacturer. So that's what it all comes down to. But anyways, that will be it for tonight. Y'all, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a good night. Until next time, you know how it goes. Happy hunting. And the hunt continues. Y'all take care of yourselves. And signing off for tonight.